The transport ship glided through the vast darkness of space, humming with energy and motion from hundreds of travelers speaking in quiet voices or resting in their sleek reclining seats. A young human named Leon had boarded in a hurry, clutching a single bag to his side as he looked for a place to sit. He was nothing remarkable in his own mind, just a mechanic from a small colony world traveling to find better work. His brown eyes scanned the rows ahead and noticed one empty seat, amidst passengers dressed in intricate clothing that shimmered like liquid metal under the cabin lights. He did not know who any of them were. He simply needed to sit before the ship took off, so he stepped forward and slipped into the empty seat without thinking too much. He buckled in and set his bag at his feet. Then he felt a sudden pressure in the air shift around him. The row fell silent. A few alien passengers stared at him with widened eyes, some whispering to each other with evident shock. Leon turned slightly to the right, and only then did he realize he was sitting next to someone who radiated presence like the sun radiated warmth. She was tall and poised, her skin a soft lavender tone with luminous markings flowing like silver rivers along her arms. Her hair fell in waves like strands of starlight, and her eyes carried galaxies within them. She wore a regal mantle adorned with symbols etched in precious metals, every line crisp with significance. Leon blinked once, then twice. The realization dawned on him that she was not simply any alien traveler. She was royalty. The insignias on her mantle were recognizable even to someone who had never set foot outside his home system until now. She was the queen of the Aurelian Dominion, ruler of one of the most influential empires in the known galaxy. The entire row around them bristled with armored guards, each wearing high-tech suits and carrying energy blades at their sides. They stared at Leon with clear disbelief that a simple human dared to sit where he sat. Leon felt his throat tighten as he tried to form words. She turned her eyes toward him. For a moment, he forgot how to breathe. Those eyes were immense and calm, as if she saw through his very being and weighed every thought he could have. His fingers tensed around the armrest while he tried to give a polite nod. He hoped that would be enough to avoid some life-ending mistake. She inclined her head by a fraction. That alone felt like an entire ceremony had been performed in his honor. The guards were tense, their hands ready at their weapons. Leon wondered if he had triggered some kind of interstellar offense that would never be forgotten. He wanted to move. He wanted to stand and find another seat. Any seat. But the ship doors sealed, the engines powered up, and the craft surged forward into the cosmic sea before he had the chance to correct his error. The Queen continued to observe him, not hostile, yet not ignoring him either. She spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate with hidden chords. Her words flowed with grace, every syllable carved with elegance. "Are you lost?" she asked. Her expression was neutral, but her voice held a quiet curiosity. Leon tried not to choke on his reply. "I thought this seat was empty. I am sorry if I intruded. I can move as soon as we land." She studied him for a long moment, then looked forward. The guards remained alert, but the intensity lessened just enough for Leon to exhale quietly. "You do not flee. Most would cower beneath fear. You simply apologize and stay present. Interesting." Leon did not know whether that was praise or a warning. He sat stiffly while the ship entered hyperspace. Hours passed. The Queen had aides approach her, each delivering information in hushed tones. Her composure never broke. Leon watched her with cautious glances, careful not to draw more attention than he already had. He noticed that she rarely moved. Her stillness held power. Every gesture carried meaning. He tried to stay small beside her. Eventually, she turned again. "Tell me your name." He straightened. "Leon. Just Leon. And your destination?" "A new colony world. I was offered work maintaining mining machines." She nodded once. "You are a builder, then?" A fixer of what others cannot mend. Leon shrugged. I do what I can. The Queen considered this in silence. She seemed to be assessing something deeper than his answer alone. Leon found his pulse beating quickly in his ears. After a quiet stretch, she spoke again. My kingdom interacts with humans. Few understand you. Even I admit that my knowledge is limited. Yet you sit beside me without trembling. Why? Leon swallowed and tried to find honesty within himself. I have seen machines break down and explode. I have survived accidents where others did not. I have walked outside with only a thin suit between me and a vacuum. Fear helps sometimes. Other times it is a burden. Right now, staying calm is the only choice I have. The Queen regarded him with sharper interest. You speak of survival as if it is your nature. Leon nodded slowly. I guess it is. Humans endure because we must. The Queen said no more for the moment. But something shifted in her gaze. The guards noticed it too. Their vigilance gradually became observation instead of anticipation. Hours continued without incident until the emergency alarms blared through the cabin. The lights flickered. The whole craft jerked violently, sending passengers clutching at seats. Leon braced himself as the hull groaned like a wounded creature. The ship's automated system announced that an attack was underway. Pirates, ruthless, raiders who sought ransom or worse. Panic erupted among the passengers. Guards stood and formed defensive lines, energizing their weapons. The Queen remained seated, but her eyes turned sharp as forged steel. Leon unbuckled while others screamed or tried to hide. He dropped to the floor and grabbed an emergency toolkit beneath his seat. Years of training and instinct took over. He crawled toward a side panel that sparked with electrical surges. Engineers were not rushing forward. They were guarding the Queen instead. But someone had to prevent the ship from tearing apart. He opened the panel and immediately saw ruptured conduits leaking plasma. His hands moved with practiced speed. Wires snapped and crackled. He sealed connections and rerouted energy flows. Each motion was controlled. His breath steadied as he worked. Explosions shook the hull. Still he worked. When the last clamp clicked into place, the alarms changed tone. The pressure stabilized. The worst damage slowed. He looked up to see the Queen watching him again. But now there was no curiosity. There was respect. Your courage is remarkable, she said. Leon shook his head. I just did what anyone should do. Yet no other did, she answered. The pirates breached the aft section. Guards engaged the intruders. Energy fire lit the corridors beyond. Leon stood and glanced toward the Queen's guard formation that now formed a living barrier around her. He saw something in their stance that concerned him. These fighters were elite, but the number of pirates flooding in exceeded what even elite forces could handle. Leon made a decision that should have terrified him. Instead, it filled him with a solid certainty. He stepped forward and retrieved a weapon from a fallen guard. It was sleek, unfamiliar, but intuitive enough that he could guess how to aim and fire. Queen raised a brow. You would fight for a stranger who owes you nothing. Leon steadied the weapon. You are not a stranger anymore. Not after sitting beside me. Not after trusting me enough to stay. If I do nothing, I let fear win. I will not do that. The Queen released a slow breath, like a quiet approval. Battle broke fully into the cabin. Leon fired, his shots precise. He moved with sharp instincts honed from dangerous work environments. He ducked behind seats, rolled past incoming fire, and protected the Queen's flank when guards faltered. His heart raced, but his mind remained clear. He never once hesitated. The pirates expected to intimidate and overwhelm. Instead, they faced a human who refused to fall. He disabled several raiders and forced others back. His presence took pressure from the royal guards. They regained momentum and pushed forward with renewed force. The fight raged until the final pirate surrendered. Bodies lay across the polished floors, breathing heavy in exhaustion. Leon lowered his weapon carefully and scanned for any new threat. When he saw none, his muscles finally released tension he did not even realize he was holding. The Queen stood. She stepped over debris and wounded raiders, approaching him with slow but deliberate motion. She stood only an arm's length from him. Her silver patterns glowed softly, pulsing with life. The guards watched with a mixture of disbelief and silent admiration. "You protected me," she said. Leon wiped sweat from his forehead. "I protected everyone. But I guess mostly you." The Queen placed her hand lightly over her heart, a gesture of solemn acknowledgement in her culture. "You arrived here by accident. Yet you stayed by choice. Humans are said to be reckless by many, but I see tenacity. I see devotion not born from command but conviction." Leon scratched his neck, embarrassed. "I just could not sit and watch." She stepped closer. "Most beings in this galaxy think survival is power alone. But power without purpose crumbles in the face of true threats. Purpose is what drives existence. And you possess it. I value that deeply." Leon felt awkward under the praise. He shrugged. "I am just trying to help where I can." The Queen smiled very slightly, a smile from one who likely smiled rarely. That single curve of expression felt like sunlight through steel clouds. "You have earned a place by my side. Not as a mistake. Not as a random seat chosen in haste. You are welcome to remain with my entourage when we land. I can offer you a role unlike any other. Your knowledge, your Korag,